Today I'm just going to talk about, I'd like to talk to you about social media and how we're using it, but really what I want to talk to you today is how we've used Google Maps to engage with our community, and in particular older people who, as the previous speaker said, are a lot more tech savvy than probably the general public give them credit for. So this is one tool that we used, and Google Maps, as you might know, is an open source application, which means you can use it in ways that you want to get a result for your community. So we've used it in that way because it's free. We did use a developer to help us work through it, but basically Google is free and you can use it in ways that you want to. So just to whip through what we're doing with social media, we're on Twitter and our handle is About Pittwater. We have two Facebook sites called I Love Pittwater and Pittwater Council, and our Twitter feed integrates with the Pittwater Council site. We have internal and external blogs, and they've been going for a couple of years. And finally, what I'm going to talk to you today about is our Google Maps comment tool, which we developed in-house late last year. So basically what we used this tool for was we had a very contentious issue to talk about with our local community, which was future development in an area called the Warriewood Valley. Now, this is an area that is already quite well developed, but under the state government legislation, they're looking to put more housing and people into that area. And we're working with the Department of Planning to come up with some ideas of how that development is going to be managed. So we're looking at things like open space, we're looking at types of housing, we're looking at roads, transport, corridors into the city, community facilities such as community centres. So it's very important to the people who are living in that area that we manage this well. So what we developed was a place-based comment tool using Google Maps. And in a moment I'll show you how it works, but basically the idea was that people could jump online either through their phone or their computer or laptop or any device and make a comment online. And from your point of view, older people find it hard to get to public meetings, especially late at night. They may not be mobile to come during the day. So we wanted to make it accessible to everyone to have their chance to have a say. So basically we circumscribed a Google map with the area that we wanted people to comment on. One of the things about Google Maps is you can roam around anywhere you want, so we had to come up with some technical stuff to circumscribe the area we wanted people to comment on, so we didn't get off topic. The great thing about this particular tool is that people can actually see what other people are saying, and that's really important because you might make your comment and you feel a bit isolated if you can't see what other people are saying. So from a democratic point of view, it was very important for people to be able to see how other people were feeling about this issue. So basically, if you can see up the top, how do I just, can I press this to get a little, little beam? Not one of those? Okay, don't worry. Up the top, you'll see we had different fields talking about housing, traffic and transport, those kinds of issues. So the issues that people were really interested in. And basically people made their comment via a form, and it would then appear on the map as a little coloured map marker, as you can see. And these were organised under those themes. So when people commented, their map marker reflected the theme that they were talking about. So to see what others were saying, each box was separately ticked. So if you wanted to see what people were talking about open space, you would just take your mouse and click the green marker, and the green markers will then drop into place. As you can see here, we have comments talking about other stuff, so they are there. Then if people wanted to see what other people were saying, they would actually click on each of those little coloured markers and the comment would open up and people could see what other people were saying. We were taking comments anonymously. We didn't ask people to give their details except in the form, but they weren't publicly displayed. So that meant people could be free to say what they wanted. They didn't feel that we were kind of big brotherish looking at where they lived or who they were. They could actually be free to say what they wanted and they didn't have to identify themselves on the map. So basically, this was the form that people used to fill out. So you can see it's a pretty simple form. They would just give their personal details. Then they would click underneath which theme or topic they were interested in. And then they would write their comment. Now all these comments would drop into a spreadsheet at the back end for us. So we had people's personal details, but we gave an undertaking that we would not publish them. But if people wanted to give their name, they could. So that's basically the form. And then it would appear, once they'd lodged it and submitted it, it would appear as a marker there. And they could go in and have a look at what they'd said. They could also go back and make changes if they wanted to. So that was basically the idea. It was a very, very simple tool. We didn't want to make it complicated because we understood that people found this thing, it was a new idea, it was a new tool. We wanted to make it very, very simple. And that's essentially how it works. The take-up so far, well, as I mentioned, we've trialled it on a particularly contentious issue because we wanted to see how it would work. On this particular issue, we received 350 comments overall. Now, that takes into account all the mechanisms that we sought feedback from. But with this particular tool, which is pretty good because this was the first time we'd used it, we got 60 comments. And the age range was quite interesting. There were quite a number of older people who took up the opportunity to make a comment using this tool. What can it be applied to in the future? Well, anything that's place-based, basically. So your previous speaker was talking about town centre development. Perfect. You can use this tool to circumscribe an area that you want people to comment on. So in terms of a council, plans of management, talking about what to do with reserves or sports fields or other areas of public space. Rezonings of land can be very contentious, but it's important to give people a say. And again, other place-based projects, so community buildings, new playgrounds. So, and again, you can modify it to give the theme that you want people to talk about. How much did it cost? The magic question. We're a medium-sized council. We don't have a budget for this kind of thing, so we really had to think outside the square and shop around for a freelance developer to help us do it. So they worked alongside our website administrator and myself. We took about 9 months to put it together. We did a lot of testing in-house to make sure it actually worked, because there would be nothing worse than launching it and then it doesn't work. So a lot of that time was just testing and testing again. So basically it was cheap. Compared to a lot of other consultation methods, it's $3,500. And the great thing about this tool, now we have it, we can apply it to other issues. As I said, it took 9 months to develop from start to finish. And that's basically it. So if you've got any questions, please feel free.
Any questions, guys? I actually had a little question. You know the little bubbles that came up on the map?
Yeah.
Was that the address of a person submitting the comment?
No, that was just the comment.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
How did you promote the uptake? How did you get people to be involved?
We used all our standard ways of advertising this kind of thing. So newsletters, e-newsletters, social media, council of advertising in the local paper. So just using our normal channels.
Question?
Did you link it to your Facebook pages at all?
Yes, we did. So we promoted it through Facebook, and we gave a link so people would be directed straight to the comment form, so they could use it straight away.
I think there's another question over here.
With the Google Maps, are you just embedding the map into your comment page and just using that as the descriptor of the area you wanted to comment on?
It's a live map. So technically what we've done is circumscribe the area that people can comment on, but people can roam around. They can actually use the mouse to hover over an area and then place a comment. Does that answer your question?
So, but what's the point of hovering over that map and placing a comment at a particular point?
Well, with the comment form, they could do it two ways. They could either hover over the map and place their comment using the map marker, or they could put a street address and then it would automatically do it for them. So they could do it one of two ways.
But is that for them to identify themselves, or?
No, it's to identify what they want to say about the particular area. So, for example, one person said, I want to see a sports field on the corner of this street. So they placed their map marker on the corner where they wanted to see the sports field.
Any further questions? Lady at the back there?
Thanks. Hi, I'm Julie from Port Macquarie Hastings Council. I was interested when you said people with their comments weren't identified. Did they have to indicate if they were a resident or a non-resident?
In the form that they submitted, they needed to give their personal details. But underneath we had a little disclaimer to say, if you don't wish to be identified by your details on the map, we won't publish them. So basically we kept their details at the back end, and if we had any more correspondence with them, then we could get in touch. But basically we gave an undertaking that we wouldn't publish their details if they didn't want them published. Some people didn't care. They were quite happy.
Great, thank you.
And there was another lady over here on this side.
I just wanted to know if there was an ability to review the comments before they went up.
Yes, there was. People could go back, and if they'd submitted something, they could then resubmit it.
Oh, yeah, that's great, but what about from council's perspective?
Does it go straight live?
Moderation.
Oh, moderation. We did look at some of the comments, but we take the view that unless someone's being defamatory, and this is in our guidelines for social media, unless someone's being defamatory or racist, we publish everything. If people are critical of us, well, so be it. You've got to take that on the chin. We don't believe in censoring people.
Any further questions? Yes, gentleman in the middle there.
Sorry, can the council remove the individual
Comments?
comments?
We could, but we don't.